Hello everybody, Spooky Sandwoman here. Thank you for checking out episode 27 of Seduce Me the Otome. Last episode, we met Malix, had the party. Not in that order. What did I get myself into?
Miss, please don't worry. We'll find a way to train ourselves and become stronger to finally finish this feud.
We'll kick his ass right now.
Do it!
Until then, we'll protect you as much as we can. If Malix comes back, we'll be here for you.
But what about going outside? Won't he?
Like we said, you have a protection spell on you. Even if Malix attacks you, he won't be able to use his magic on you. He'd be just like any other human you can fight back against.
Didn't you say you knew Taekwondo?
Well, yeah. I felt somewhat relieved that I was mostly safe from Malix. Still, I could not help but feel very nervous and apprehensive about the future. The boys were safe here to train and become stronger, but what if Malix did the same? Even more so, I was lost about how my grandfather knew about magic. I had to find out. At least I had time. I went to bed that night feeling nervous. Despite the words of the incubi, I felt like a target to something I'd never been able to explain or prove. Magic, devils, demons. How did all of this even happen? Should I really meddle with the situation? They are only staying until after they defeat Malix. That's right, they said they'd only stay until after they defeated Malix. After that, my life could go back to normal. Temporary insanity, as Kay would say. The question was, would I want them to leave? If my life went back to normal, then I'd have to take her for the house all on my own. I'd get to focus on my life instead of being distracted by the boys. I'd have to. My life. Where was my life going anyway? I was under pressure from my parents, with not only my friends and the boys to comfort me. Without the boys, I'd have no way to hide from my responsibilities. Enough, let's just sleep and deal with tomorrow when it comes. Defeating my sense of thought, I forced myself to sleep, unsure of what tomorrow had planned for me. Hopefully, whatever the future had for me, I would be ready for it. I slowly opened my eyes, letting the voices of my dream echo in my head and force me awake. I rubbed my eyes before sitting up and looking at my clock. 7 a.m.? Why am I up so early? I fell back onto the bed and closed my eyes, trying to get back to sleep. However, something was keeping me awake. Why? It's too early to even be alive. I gave up and sat up, staring at the fireplace across from my bed. A sigh escaped from between my lips before I threw my legs over the side of the bed. What to do at 7 in the morning? Guess I could work on homework. I had to work on my homework. I had school tomorrow regardless of what was happening in my life. At that moment, I wish school was over. Oh, might as well get it done now. I reluctantly... That was... Okay. I reluctantly took my books out of my bag and then sat on the floor. I made my bed into a steady picnic area before... I can't speak! As I began to work through my homework. The benefit of doing your homework in the morning, not having to do it later. The downside, mornings suck for trying to use your brain for anything educational. The formula for fixed cost is FC plus VC times Q equals TC. Marginal cost is total cost minus fixed cost. I felt my brain slowly trying to ramp up the flow of logical thought, speeding up the time I was working on each economic equation I had. It wasn't a matter of me being smart about anything when it came to doing homework or doing well in class. I was just quick to learn and easily retained information. Boy, I wish I was her. If only I could learn about the boys this fast. I stopped. Did I really just compare learning about demons to learning about economics? It's 7 a.m. It's too early to be alive, let alone make sense. I shook my head and continued to work. I returned to bed, feeling the weight of the morning drag me under my covers to try sleeping again. I had energy, but I wanted more sleep. It was Sunday, and nothing was happening today. Come on, eyes! Back to sleep! I shut my eyes and tried to slow my breathing. I looked at my phone and checked the time once again. It was noon, yet I felt like I had slept for much longer. Why is time going so slowly? I sighed, got changed into normal clothes, and went out to the main hall and sat on the stairs. Sundays were very boring. However, the muffled sounds of battle caught my attention. Huh? I quickly went out to the backyard in response to the noise I had heard. In the yard were all 5 of the boys, practicing fighting. Sam was in the middle with the other 4 surrounding him, throwing punches and kicks at him. Sam, being the strongest of the bunch, blocked and dodged each, almost masterfully. I'm not going to disturb them. Yeah, I'm just not going to disturb them. I just watched. The boys were very much in their own world, focusing on the training they were all in. It was better to not disturb them. I checked the time and decided to head into the kitchen. I was getting hungry, and I'm sure the boys would need to eat soon, so lunch was a must. Might as well make lunch today. It's been a while since I cooked. Lunch wasn't particularly hard. I'm gonna make pizza! Pizza is always good, no matter what time of the day it is. Do we have any? Luckily, we had some pizza in the freezer to heat up. Pizza Mori's baked with love pizza. Oh, that's wonderful! I love it! We had all the makings of pizza types, including pepperoni, sausage, mushroom, and extra cheese. Just top it, bake it, and serve it. I'd have to get more later. I placed the food in the dining room, however none of the boys were there by the time I brought the final dish out. I carried that dish to the main lobby, catching the boys separating into different rooms of the house. Part of me wanted to go to one in particular. The other wanted me to just leave them and take the food in my hand to my room and eat. Maybe I could go out today while the boys focus on training. No, I'm going to find one of the incubi. I quickly rushed back and grabbed a second food dish before hunting down one of the boys. I looked down each hall, trying to find one of the incubi wandering, so that I wouldn't have to go through each individual room finding them. Oh, excuse me. I pursed my lips in irritation. Where the heck are they? I sighed, knowing that I would have to search for them in each room. I quickly turned around and headed back to the dining room. When I arrived, I gasped. Matthew was crouched near the kitchen doorway, peering in as if a rat had gotten loose in the pantry and he was a stalking exterminator. Matthew?
Shh.
I quickly shut my mouth and pressed my lips together in silence, confused but fearful as to why I had to be quiet. I tiptoed to Matthew, who was crouching by the entrance to the kitchen. His gaze and head moved across the side of the kitchen, still trying to find whatever he was looking for.
He's in there.
What? Matthew's face was seriously fearful and intense. Who was freaking him out this much? My mind, however, instantly pinned the person down in my conclusion. Malix. Malix! Why did he come back and why was he in my kitchen? I started to freak out, remembering the fear I had felt the first time we had met. However, I wasn't sure. What if there were Where were the others if it was Malix?
I lost sight of him, but I quickly found him and cornered him in there. I know he's in there.
Who's in there?
That fluffy killer thing.
Oh god, the doll? Fluffy killer thing. I bit my lip, suppressing a laugh. Once I swallowed my laughter down, I let out a sigh. You mean your cute bunny doll?
Yeah, that thing. Wait, it's not cute?
Matthew instantly regretted not whispering and covered his mouth. I couldn't help but giggle. What's he doing in the kitchen? Matthew turned to me with an expression of utmost seriousness. Something told me that what he said would be cute and funny, but I decided to bite my tongue gently to not laugh no matter what.
I don't know.
I failed to keep hold of myself and started to giggle again. The thought of a doll doing anything but sitting there made me giggle. Matthew tried to hush me, waving his arms frantically to keep me quiet. Matthew, Simon's a doll. It can't do anything.
You named him?
I named him? I named him. Of course! Simon Tabby. Cute, isn't it? Matthew let out some sort of defeated whine before turning back to the kitchen, trying to find Simon from where he was. I placed our food on the table and looked as well. So what's your plan of attack?
Well, I plan to make my way through the kitchen as quietly as I can, and hopefully not get stabbed.
Sounds simple. Matthew nodded in agreement before finally moving from his spot and tiptoeing into the kitchen. I stood there, unsure of whether I should follow suit, and I'm going to join the hunt. I didn't know why I was up for this, but I followed along. The small adventurous side of me was very happy with my decision, but another side of me was questioning, asking me why I did that. Matthew slowly walked through the kitchen, scanning the cupboards and surfaces with a meticulous glare. It was both amusing and slightly frightening to see how serious he could be. Do all of your toys get out of control like this?
No, it's just this one. I don't know why. All my other toys are okay.
Other toys? Matthew nodded, stopping his search to look at me.
That's what I do. Make toys. I made them for my mother all the time back in the Abyssal Plains, to help her cope with her position.
Her position?
She's the fourth wife of my birth father. Each of us have a different mother, and all of them, except for Damien's, are queens. My mom, though, hates sharing, so I distracted her with toys.
I didn't know what to say. A demon with multiple wives seems natural, but I guess because I was human, I felt a twinge of disgust run through my fingers nonetheless. Still, it was adorable how Matthew tried to cheer his mom up with his abilities. I was then suddenly reminded of my grandfather and how he made toys all the time for kids. Matthew's powers to make small toys instantly would have been so useful to my grandfather. I shook my head and began to search for Simon again. Let's keep looking for Simon. Matthew nodded before joining in. I felt like I was in a comedy mystery, looking for a child's toy instead of a murder weapon.
Come on out, creepy thing.
Its name is Simon. Matthew ignored my statement and began to slowly open the cupboard, sifting through the inside contents. I decided to follow suit, starting at the opposite end of the kitchen. Matthew, what do we do if we find him?
We stick him back in my pocket.
I looked to Matthew, waiting for him to finish replying. However, he kept his eyes to the ground, trying to answer my question, remaining in thought. I continued to search the cupboards, unsure of how this plan was going to go anywhere. Why was I even doing this? Simon Tabby was a... What the? Matthew and I scanned the kitchen frantically, searching for the source of the laugh.
I knew that thing was evil!
Suddenly, everything went black.
Ah!
Who turned out the lights? Vashta Nerada. I gripped to the nearby counter, not wanting to hit anything or fall in the darkness. There were no windows, so the room was almost completely pitch black. I could hear skittering across the floor like a rat rushing to escape its cheese with its cheese in mouth. I instantly jumped in fear before suddenly being pushed to the ground.
Ah! Watch out!
I felt myself hit the ground with a body over top of me. Two hands were slammed beside my head onto the tile floor, stopping the person above me from crushing me.
Hey, are you okay?
Matthew? Yeah, I am. I stared up at Matthew, letting the situation sink in. We were looking for a doll, and now we are on the ground. What broke my thoughts was a flash of gold running through Matthew's eyes. I could feel heat radiate from his body, but the air was tense and his body was almost shaky. Matthew, are you okay? I heard him gulp, answering my question. He wasn't okay, I could tell, but he wasn't moving. Matthew?
Sorry.
Soon a golden glow covered Matthew's eyes. I expected to feel warmth in my body from an up-and-coming spell, but I felt nothing. Something was wrong.
I need you to push me off.
From the sound of his voice, he was desperate to get up and off of me. Why couldn't he move, though? And then it hit me. Matthew? Do you need energy?
I do. But
Matthew shut his eyes to try and hide his golden gaze from me. He didn't want to take my energy? Why? Was he ashamed to? I'm gonna kiss you! If he needed energy, I was willing to give it. I gently grabbed Matthew's face and tilted his head to angle with mine, leaning in closer to him. I brought my face and lips up to his and kissed him deeply. I didn't know if this would help, but it was how he got energy before. I shut my eyes, waiting for the draining feeling to reappear in my body. Matthew didn't move, nor did I feel energy drain from me. I opened my eyes and saw Matthew staring wide-eyed at me, but unmoving. He was unsure of what to do, and I had silenced him in confusion. I pulled away and spoke. I wanted to give you some of my energy. You've used a lot of it, and I'm sure that the energy you took from me was only used for healing. Let me help you.
I don't.
Matthew, if you don't want my energy, just tell me. But I'm offering it to you if you do. All of a sudden, I felt that familiar feeling of warmth run through my body once again. I felt my body slightly heat up as Matthew wrapped an arm around my body and pulled my body tighter to his. Matthew grew a lustful gaze before bringing up a hand to cup the back of my neck. Oh wow. Before I knew it, Matthew pulled me into a gentle but passionate kiss. Heat erupted through my body as his kiss slowly and almost timidly got deeper. Matthew kept an arm around my waist while I rested my hands on his chest. I think there's one hand on his cheek. The energy from my body was slowly draining in the kiss, making me feel light and warm. It's almost pitiful how comfortable and how willing I was in this situation. Still, I held no regrets. I was enjoying every bit of this kiss. Matthew was full of surprises. As childish as he was, he definitely was proving to be a man while he was kissing me. Oh, that's a line. Matthew wasn't forceful, but his kiss was deep and passionate, and it felt almost magical. It was how I imagined the first kiss to be like, except with the energy drain. Soon, the energy drain stopped and Matthew gently pulled his face away to end the kiss. I stared up at him as we both panted for air. I had never kissed like that before, and I was so lost in the moment that I'd forgotten how to breathe. Matthew moved a strand of hair from my face to behind my ear, eyes still full of desire. Matthew stared silently at me, unsure of what to say. However, I could tell he was full, yet yearning. I could feel the hold of his mind-altering spell fade away, but I still felt hot. Something told me that I wanted more, but at the same time, I wasn't sure if I truly did want to give any more. Well, of course, we're gonna have to keep going. I opened the opportunity and I was enjoying it as much as he was. I wanted more and he was gonna let me keep going. I wanted to keep going. I leaned up and kissed him again. Matthew gasped against my lips but continued to kiss back. I could feel him pull on the tail. This is exactly like it was with Damien. I could feel him pull on the tail of my bow, releasing it and following his hand off from around my neck. He moved the ribbon to his pocket before gently unbuttoning the top 2 buttons of my blouse. Oh my god, we're gonna do it in the kitchen. The desire in my body drove me insane, forcing a moan to escape my lips as he ran kisses from my lips down to my exposed neck. Jesus Christ! As he began to ravage my neck and shoulder in hot kisses, I leaned my head back and let a pleasurable sigh escape my lips. Matthew was ruthless in his passionate kisses on my skin. Matthew didn't stop touching and kissing me, making more moans and gasps rush out of my mouth into the open air. He may have been full, but he was as hot as I was. I couldn't even comprehend how much time we spent making out. I was lost in the pleasure that I didn't care. Call it sinful, but I didn't care. I loved it. His touch, his kiss, his heat. I desired it beyond anything at that moment. Even as he lowered his kisses down to my chest to just above my bra. My heart was beating wildly in my chest. Something about Matthew intrigued me immensely, but something made my heart quicken for him. It couldn't have been love, but it was too passionate to be lust. What was it? Probably love. However, I began to feel dizzy, seeing the ceiling start to spin almost wildly. I gripped to Matthew's shoulders, trying to signal him to stop, but my mind faded to black before I let out another sound. It felt good. I didn't care that I was blacked out. I felt warm and fuzzy in the darkness. I never knew that indulging in that kind of passion would be that good. I now just waited to awaken, hopefully in a good way. My eyes eventually fluttered open, adjusting to the sight around me. I felt familiar silks underneath me, letting me know that I was in my bed. Slowly I sat up, stretching from the tiredness that still lingered. I felt a very soft pain on my neck and shoulders, and I could feel my swollen lips pulse gently and healing. However, when I looked back down at my body, I saw that my shirt had been pulled back up and rebuttoned, as if nothing happened between me and Matthew. It was just missing a ribbon. Before I turned out to get out of bed, though, I spotted my ribbon on the pillow beside the one I slept on. It was tied around Simon Tabby in a nice bow with a small note attached to it. I gently slipped the note from the tie and opened it to read it.
I'm really, really, really sorry.
No.
I didn't mean for it to go that far. Please forgive me?
Daw. You're fine, Matthew. I stared at the note, letting a small smile grace my lips. He went too far? I enjoyed it a lot. It was cute, though, to imagine him thanking me for something we both did and enjoyed. I brought the note to my chest, letting the memories of our meeting flood my mind. I indulged myself too, Matthew. Even though it was technically the same thing as Damien, it was still pretty cute. But you know what? I'm going to end this episode off here. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. Share with your friends if they like making out. Wow, this got awkward. Bye-bye!